Кофеек заварен. Linux переустановлен. Genshin Impact установлен. Над раз без всяких самых таких проклятых тоже, скажем. Прокладок в виде Epic Game Store. А напрямую на жесткий диск. На жесткий. Какого хрена? Тихо, 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 тихо. Я ж еще не настроил. Ты чё, какой хуа? Так, сразу посмотрим. Конечно же, геймпад. Сила вибрации. Да ты что творишь? Не надо. Не надо мне вот этого сейчас. Так, тут еще обратный. Не надо на вибрации. Чувствительность. Повысим. Это оставим. Ладно, пусть будет. Дальность максимальная. Хорошо. Это обязательно поменяем. И как она менялась? А, точно, тут наоборот инвертировано еще. Вот так. О, теперь нормально должно быть. Что у нас по графику-то? Высокая, высокая, высокая рендеринг, высоко, высоко, фасаж. Ну, пусть так и остается. Посмотрим, как будет система себя вести. Так, это что за хрень тут у нас происходит, а? Офигел, ну все, ты будешь наказан.
Rain outlines your fate. Scatter!
Не успел. Ладно, бывает.
Keep going.
Scatter. Нет, ты готов? А чё так громко-то, а? Чё так громко хреначит? Ужас какой-то просто. По крайней мере, мне по наушнику хреначит очень громко. Вот как-нибудь вот так, наверное, будет лучше. Нифига себе, возродился. Бонус гидроурона. Начальные статы более-менее еще. Нормально.
The scribe's work is simple, which is exactly why I took the position.
Exactly. Так. Вот это если поставим. У меня по что? Под церемонию. Ладно, поставим тогда. Вообще, что собирались сделать? Для чего мы тут оказались? Пройдемся по всем нашим галочкам. Получить. Ничего интересного. Мне на почту прислали. Нормально, так нормально. Так, 4-3 уже.
Wait.
У нас по молитвам. А я тут еще здесь. А давай-ка мы тебя покрутим. Кисинобу. Вот тебя-то я как раз и хотел. Удачненько, удачненько зашли. Думаю, дальше тебя крутить не буду. Так, что у меня? Посох, а для чего? Покрутим самый скамящий баннер. Кто там гавкает? Не надо. 2 раза нажал. Увлекся, чутка увлекся. Какие сосочки. Чувствительные. Конечно же, да. Никто не ждал. Того же никто не ждал. А нужен мне Тхаранга Пакфут? Да нет, думаю. Он очень нужен. Ладно, пошли отсюда. Кукисинобу я потом прокачаю. Так, он как раз моему хайтанчику очень даже, наверное, поможет. Вместо ГГ его поставить, что ли? А, нет, вместо Барбара, возможно. Не знаю. Мы пойдем по сюжетке. Вполне возможно. Хотя... Нет. Надо закончить колесенников. Та-да-дам. Начнем испытание. Блин, еще и говорить надо, что ли? Поехали. Пока вроде не тормозит. А первый раз установил, он меня подтормаживал, я снижал настройки. Интересно. Почему так? Корявая установка, скорее всего, у меня сыграла свою роль. И плюс NVIDIA-ские драйвера проприетарно неправильно, наверное, так поставил. Вполне возможно. Погнали. За мелкую. Хотя, погодите-ка. Нет, все ж таки не такая плавная картинка. Бежать придется, скорее всего, на одной системе. И с теми игра на высоких не особо хорошо идет. Не так плавненько хотелось. Так, это болтовня вообще нам не интересно. Потому что это просто ивент временный. Пусть пока разговаривают. А на ютубе традиционно в последнее время у нас не отображается прямая трансляция, да? Ну и хрен бы на него. Насчет ВК Play Live. Но тут нормально и шикарно. И я скучаю по тем временам. По каким-то я временам скучаю, что-то не помню. Не помню ничего такого. Да, конечно, согласна. Еще как согласна. Мы ради этого сюда и пришли, а не поболтать. Еще чуть-чуть. отряд? Какой отряд? Урон сверхпроводники, перегрузка. Сверхпроводники, перегрузка. Тогда кого возьмем? Возьмем морозного щита, огнем. Так, что у нас? Выносливость будешь добавлять? Не вот так. И пусть мочатся все вместе разом. Ладно. Когда подохнем, тогда и прочитаем. Ходим. Валим. Так, окей. Вот этого мочим, пока не оглушены. Отходим чуть подальше, быстрее, ребятки, подальше. Потом с тобой разберемся. Прекрасно, привет. Ну как тебе? Я думаю, тебе пора. Вещевой? Ух ты, ёшкин-матушка, стой. Чё так мощно-то? Ты чё это наделал? Говнюк хвостатый. Так. Теперь готов. Валим. Ты чё тут топишь? Да ты... Да не его. Почему? Чё за аимбит? Была мелкого. Кто автоимит еще? Как будто его кто-то просит. Давай его сбоку. По бочкам. Мочи. Ему точно не выбраться. Еще что ли есть? Тихо. Не перескакивай, пожалуйста. Нормально так, да не его. Так, хорошо, что вы вместе. Вот так. Так. Тихо. Крепко. Вам обоим, наверное, тут одновременно припадет. Так, этого тоже. Вот, все, хорошо. Все, на 3 звезды, да? Без проблем. И последнее. Тень шляпы пес ниндзя с ножом. Это что такое? Уровень босса разработан совместно Хани и Соук. Это последний грозный противник, создан по образцу и подобию таинства на пса ниндзя из легенды Надзума. Настолько же крут, насколько и силен. По мнению Соуки, никто не растерпится, если его одолеет такой мощный противник. Все же Ханя несколько преуменьшила его способности, учитывая, что события проходят в фонтане, где люди могут быть не так хорошо знакомы с сами ниндзя. Во время короткого визита в Инадзуму Соука повстречалась со многими друзьями-писателями в надежде собрать больше информации о псах-ниндзя. Она даже зашла в чайный дом Камори, чтобы встретиться с искателями приключений, видевшими Суимацубан действий. Правда, забыла наладить хорошие отношения с хозяином заведения. Ну да ладно. Чё-то у нас на мини-бездне. Использует клинки, чтобы нанести удар по малышам плесников в заданной области. Также быстро перемещается по полю боя с помощью двойника Кавари Мининкена. Помимо того, что вы можете распределить своих бойцов, чтобы защитить как можно больше малышей и прессинга, вы также можете заставить противника применить атаку в падении против двойника Говорю, меня Гена, чтобы отправить его в нокаут. Когда тень шляп плюсница с ножом прибывает в нокауте, весь чудесный гель восстанавливается. Ой. Возьмем свой традиционный состав. Так. Или не так. Защиту ли взять? Давай защиту возьмем. Его возьмем. А получится ли мне теперь одной толпой захреначить? Не хочу я по два думать. Понятно, понятно, понятно. Я думал, ты будешь маленьким. Так, лечим. Ну, вроде не подыхают, вроде лечится нормально. Ой, а его можно мочить? Нет, нельзя. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Как двойника мочить? Попрыгунчик какой. Ой. Назад. Долго будешь бегать? Меня достал. Понял. Он только сам может мочить своего двойника. Прочитал, но, видать, не сразу понял. Ты че ты творишь? Куда трогаешь грибочки? Ага. Лечение работает. Давай на сверхпроводнике мочим. Блин, скоро подохнет. Не надо восстановиться. Давай, прыгай. О, молодец. Бумс. Ну ты сам виноват. Лежи, отдыхай. Тебе немного осталось. Ты убить не успеешь, мало слабенького. Давай еще раз двойника, нокаут, ему тебя расхреначь. Нет, даже так убить. Легко. Наград забирай. Хорошо, хорошо, прекрасно. О, за 150 секунд. Это я долго возился с ним. Это единственное, что я не выполнил. Механические звуки. Почему так? За 2,5 минуты. Интересно. В смысле 2,5 минуты? Нет, 2,5. 8 секунд не хватило. Обязательно быстренько его мочим. В проводнике перегрузка. У меня было вот так, вот так и вот так. Так и оставим? Оставим. Какого хрена? 8 секунд не хватило? Это не считается. Будем жестче мочить, значит. Не обращаем внимания на эту фигню. Просто мочим. Пусть не убьют. Не убьют. Не отвлекаемся, не бегаем. У нас хиллер хороший. Ну все. Теперь быстренько его мочим, ничего не сделать надо. Поставьте мелкий, быстро мочим. Он всегда будет рядом, так что тоже будет получать урон. Там быстрее идем сюда. И идем к нему. Так что я думаю, на этот раз мы управимся намного быстрее. Ух, хорошо получаешься. Че вы творите так? Мы очень стесняемся. Автонаводчик. Мы даже не подыхать, поэтому можно просто стоять. Вы убили, что ли? Ну вам конец тогда. Меньше чем за 2 минуты должно управиться. Это самостоятельно сдохнет. Никуда не денется. Ну вот и все. Вот и все 3 звезды. Новый рекорд. Награда получена. Можно валить. Ивент пройден. И ведь все. Довольно легко. Хотя, может, а это стоило бы покрутить. Может, кикасином был C2, C1 бы у нас выпал. Знаю. Да что ж вам еще надо? Если вы не собираетесь мне ничего больше давать, то давайте не будем болтовню это продолжать. Нормально, пойдет. Не умеем организовать мероприятия, мы умеем их только разрушать. Блин, в Фаентене все так много говорят, так мало действий происходит. Все, успокойтесь, пожалуйста. Ой, немного у нас времени. Ну все, прекрасно. Опять получим. Потом еще глотаху получим. Ой. 29-й, нормально. Мур нам не так хватает, по идее. А зачем я сюда пишу? Тут-то что у нас? Понятно. Докторат виновный. Так, тестовый у меня ведь сделано, да? Да. Я его и так делаю. Что дают? Ничего не дают. Так себе, так себе, так себе, так себе. Так, пошли к Катерине собирать наши награды.
Body and mind.
Мы отправим лишних.
Ad Astra Abyssal. Thank you for completing to
Не за что.
Ad Astra Ab.
А, новый. А что новое? Мура. О. Ладно. Так. Мы тебя в Фонтейн отправим. Не обсуждается. Тут что новое? Зяблики, ну ничего интересного. Мора. Так. Да, вроде ничего интересного-то и нет. Сахарок. Давай сюда отправим сразу. Все. Мне все еще громко. Сколько накопили? Нормально накопили. Ничего не должно быть. Давайте уберем все ж таки. Можно вызвать. Да. И по магазину. В чем тут не убралось? Не прочитал до конца. Все. Да что ж, еще не все. На моменты версии еще берем, чтобы не болталось. Все, спасибо. Что назад?
I never embark on a journey without a good book to accompany me.
Конечно, повысим теорию. Возвысить хватает. Прекрасно.
If you haven't mastered the basics.
И еще повысим. Сколько сможем. Ну, сможем и не намного. Пусть будет вот так.
Now.
Погнали. На маскарад виновных. Откуда к тебе быстрее придет? Все-таки уж. Попробуем отсюда. Я уж не помню. Удачное решение.
Time to act.
Подергивается.
Huh? Let Paimon see! The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has my recent attempts to enter the fortress bore. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blind adventurer with their white fairy. So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet. The Charlotte took so many awesome folks she hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find... Seriously? Well, fine.
Опять бесконечная беготня. Все здания Архонта в фонтане — это полный мрак. Это я одобряю, что-нибудь перекусить одобряю.
Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition, only 16 slices a day cake! It was so delicious the last time we tried it! Despite the tense situation we were in, let's give it another go! 1 slice of cake, please. Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It seems Monsieur Nervalette was...
Wait, did he really say something like that?
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food.
That's right.
As for me, I I love the cake and coffee here.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work.
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closed?
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but...
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't... No. It's the same for eating in general. You might not be able to eat tomorrow, but...
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more slices of cake to go? These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this...
Oh, you know Siege?
I sure do. She was born before me, and she said that humans are creatures that are sad and ease. I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now.
Что-то все такие добренькие, еще тортики покупай, смотри-ка.
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in. I'm sure this cake will be... It's more delicious than last time! And the flavor... Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food.
Пошли отсюда.
Oh! We're near the Steambird office! Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
Конечно же, давайте поболтаем. Мне уже известно, что мы так любим болтать, только болтать. Все задания тут только болтовня.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon!
Ha! You've got some nerve!
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in... It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended.
Really?
Well, you're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I...
Oh, Paimon knows...
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden?
A friend of ours met you a while back, and when she mentioned it, we thought of coming to see...
Ah, so you know Miss Mona
Да,
as
там она
well.
мне, наверное,
She's
никогда
a
не
guest
выплатит
columnist
уже.
for our paper. So she mentioned me?
She said that you're a real...
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil...
Huh? So your article...
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deep.
Yeah, are we...
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth it.
Oh, in that case...
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief
Неравно ты
immediately.
хочешь
I'll have to
поставить
apply for
редактора
lighting, a venue, some
курс
props.
дела, если
Oh,
фильм
so much to
сорвется
get
за
done
пару
now.
дней.
Talk...
Например, Фонтейн затопит.
Wait, Charlotte, Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow, what would you do today?
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish and then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations as soon as possible. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic. But anyway, that's my answer.
Холодный пирог с яблоками.
That's so nice. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we?
Зачем нам на море смотреть? Зачем?
The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh? Paimon's been thinking. If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of... No, Paimon should ask... We've always been moving to the next desk... You mean... Still traveling?
Тут поболтаем, там поболтаем. По Фонтейну пройдем, там поболтаем. Потом еще на другую половину Фонтейна пойдем и там поболтаем. И будем болтать. Сутки, двое, трое. В каждым новым регионом разработчиков все больше и больше.
Sounds like you'll
Сюжет
grow
растягивают,
old if you stay
размывают
here long
просто.
enough. But it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's
So the two of you are still here. What?
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to look for you two before. I heard that afterward. Not at all. I'm well aware that you're. Yes, inside the opera house.
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't. Lady Farina was watching a performance at the opera house, and loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy. And before she could respond, others started to join it. The crowd continued to grow and protest against the Hydro Archon.
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they...
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods.
So what happened after that is...
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument, the Marechaussee Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch...
So, you mean she's still...
That's right. The Marechaussee has That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god. Good. Monsieur Nervillet...
Don't worry, this is more...
Is that so?
Че это вы тут киваете?
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things, and as we also know, she made... When Nervillet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, it would be hard for her to ignore Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to... Well, what do you think? Paimon knows it. In that case, there's not a moment to...
Круто. Ошибся чутка. Упс. Классно она пошла, понимаешь.
This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
У нас есть навигатор. Почему сюда-то пришла, интересно?
That's
Даже
Farina,
глаза
right over
навели.
there. She really...
What was meant to happen did happen. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Give up, Farina. I'm sorry, but what can I even do? Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina. Farina, you were...
What do you mean, tear stains? Who did that uncivilized... They even dare to tout their Archon! Oh, and I'm sure Neuvillette and those people from the Marechaussee Phantom...
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there!
Че, может, по башке им надо им?
Quick, after her!
Farina,
Нет, будем
those people
болтать.
seem to be after you.
They are... They're just... That's against the rule.
Farina just ran off.
Почему бы ее не догнали? Топ-топ-топ-топ. Что-то их маловато.
This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to...
What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here!
Fine. I suppose haste is...
Ну, давай поговорим, давно не болтали. Аскетично. Да что будет так нет. Пойму, ты зачем запахалась?
No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they display.
Yep, that's a good
What's happening?
Yeah, a quake of this.
It can't be.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Nevertheless,
Yeah, but the people of Poisson... It's true. I've been investigating the prophet. I once had informants I've tried all kinds of ways to, but all my efforts we cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will give up. I do indeed. I've thought fate is really unreasonable, but just now, it all became clear to me. As long as the final moment has, don't worry. Well, that's enough for now. I got the end. Don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I?
come on! Paimon could have...
Share. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be a witness. Yes, and if Tevat is in its entirety.
Почему ГГ не озвучивать даже сюжет? Вот хоть что-то по сюжету. Окей. Что ты? И как мы тут оказались?
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself.
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
You
На
would
понт
draw your
берут.
blade against a god?
Урядья наберут на понт.
I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Вряд ли ты будешь сражаться.
Paimon can't believe it.
What the heck is going on?
Wow, how utterly...
Lady Farina, what is the...
Shh! It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding.
Looking for excuses again.
I raised my hands just now to indicate I will admit that I'm sorry, everyone. You are not the only ones. But now, I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice! This time, I will protect you.
Да неужто?
Applaud and rejoice! One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words, this shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine! The trial of the Hydro Archon, Fosalor, will now begin!
Woohoo! Oh, now we're making history.
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic...
All right, then. Who will be my...
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Very well. Then...
О нет, только не это. Давайте я сегодня не буду этим заниматься.
Also, please allow me to ask, just how much work did you do to...
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
Зачем все карты раскрывать?
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were they changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean... The ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina.
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Areneas. Was an Archon in... My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome.
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct a giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Верхняя панелька мне проглядывает, получается.
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in Poisson. You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage. Oh? It's fine. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the...
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte! Oh, let Paimon see.
Погодите-ка.
Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh?
Как-то так.
means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine. So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument. Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, alright?
Ладно, это слишком долго.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Почему продолжается?
Oh, come on, nerd. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offense. Of course, it is
Почему так
only
долго?
natural for humans to
Вы
struggle.
реально так затянули?
But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct instead. I would—
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try—
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Yeah. Even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Farina can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor have to make such a huge claim?
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld? If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the god—
An argument with near impossible odds, huh?
We have— Well, I tried to give you the chance. And if I was not the Archon—
Можно пока просто выйти. То, блин, даже нельзя выйти.
First of all, you may be a member of another long—
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd see—
A curse. I once thought it possible, but in light of this claim, perhaps—
You sensed it too, huh, Nervalet?
Lady Farina. Well, it is true that it's—
Это будет dolgo.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between for centuries, manifestations of one need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you—
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions—
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your— While the court is in session, the principles of justice— You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charge.
I never thought you'd use the—
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina.
You neither knew why Child was declared guilty. Instead of having been created by you, the manifestation...
The real Hydro Archon. Well, it is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave, but the Oratrice handed out that verdict. You can't argue that just because...
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof.
My power as an Archon.
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared.
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or...
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive. Thus did I give up all of my divine power.
Isn't that
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power?
Seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't. I'm still the same Farina you knew. Please.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she would...
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and...
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence.
Wow, she came up with yet another argument.
Давай.
It has been established that all...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use...
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before...
Super sorry, Monsieur. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As ever... including those of... So, Miss Farina, would you... If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, but if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody... I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simple...
Navia from the Spina di Rasula.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontaine.
Не факт, что на оруженке. Этого региона. С чего вы взяли, что на оруженка Фонтейн?
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls out...
Well, of course he had to tell her that.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single...
What's going on? Is she...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina.
Да она не с Фонтейна, потому что...
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! Will you believe me now? I really am your...
Miss Siegewin? If you're present, Miss Siegewin.
Siegewin? Don't be nervous. It'll just take a...
Please announce the results of your evaluation.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which...
Thank you, Miss Siegewin. Lady Farina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't...
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, however, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough. We don't want anyone else to lose their life.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a... It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used.
I can't... Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me some... Think about it. How can you conclusively... Also, if I was... Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your...
I
think anything she says at this point will sway anyone.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think...
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. She's too stacked against her now.
Если Раптис примет ее сторону, что тогда?
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is... guilty.
Это пока что не видать, так сказал. А Раптис какое решение вынесет?
We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale...
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice...
No. The Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, to be punished via the death sentence.
That's actually one of the available sentences?
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court. And it's been given...
Farina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. Is this sentence really appropriate for the crime?
Yeah! Even Vacher wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil master.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, but now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately...
Так себе обвинение.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt.
Да, временно можешь.
Is the trial still going?
Fremine! Oh, you finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission.
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find the missing...
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. But has the trial already concluded?
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me... Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other
Huh? So what do you see? What...
Так получается, все фонтейцы — это океаниды просто. Они возвращают свою первоначальную форму, так я понимаю?
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? So when you say Hydro Archon...
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this... However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense...
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the
Я самостоятельно еще надо делать что-то, эту рутину.
The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro... Does that mean that Fontainians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, the second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it. This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontainians were branded with their original sin. The third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. Huh. That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch... Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontainians have been talking about. People, we didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we?
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontanians can be dissolved in primordial seawater. And the first stone slate tells us that long ago that this might be the reason that...
Ладно.
That doesn't sound quite...
Perhaps what the true sin of the Hydro Archon and the original sin cast down on the...
Оставим. Каменные плиты в руинах, на которых изображено пророчество, описывающее историю будущего. На нем изображен гидроархон, также множество людей, погружающихся в море.
It's not as... When Navia fell into the sea, the stone slates show the people gathered around...
И последнее осталось, да? Эта сцена практически идентична той, что описано в пророчестве, распространено по всему Фонтейну. Жители в конце концов растворятся в море, а гидроархон будет сидеть на своем троне и плакать. Да ладно.
The prophecy from the stone slates found its way. The fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater. If we hadn't dealt with it in time...
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will... The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meropide was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The prophecy's contents can all be verified by recent events.
Пока еще будет эта болтовня длиться. Размазанная.
That's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like...
Let's hear them.
Incredible. Linny, did you hear that?
We're...
All Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vacher dissolved were also turned into Oceanids. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial. All of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate? In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth. However, While you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power source. When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should finally be informed of the unadulterated truth.
Well? Did you get it?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it for you.
Рассказываешь, не тяни. Время подходит.
Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontainians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the 7, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life. Not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontainians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids. Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing. Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontainian, but it does answer a lot of our questions.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the 3rd and 4th stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct. A key point of the visual on the 3rd slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, the meaning of the 3rd slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy, in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. So now, it seems, we're the ones making sure it comes true.
What should we do?
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled.
If that's the case, Does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be fulfilled soon?
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions. About the fourth slate, you probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes? However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before. This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
It was both dream and reality.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
The truth, the original sin, the trial, and the root cause of the disaster.
Так нам еще и биться с ним, что ли? Я думал, на завтра это оставить. А тут без перерыва у нас просто пошло по скриптам. У меня водный персонаж так-то. Слышь? Маленький тут. Ну-ка съешь всех. Чел, откуда у нас появился? Форме духа. Ты где был? Валил, что ли? Свои измерения? Что, тоже решил туда пойти? А вот мы не пойдем. Наконец-то мне тут возможность выйти, нет?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of...
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh... Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food.
We just barely managed to push it back, right?
In that case, won't it come back to target the people again once it's managed to recover its strength?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy,
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practically integrated with the sea itself. Even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed, it could still survive and swim off towards some other world.
That's not something I will accept. We've already done everything we can, and we even found the true culprit. We've come so far. You can't just...
Indeed. That's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end. No matter what.
so the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
Чё еще? Да что так затянуто-то?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be
Как
fulfilled.
же Фонтейн
You may
затянут.
view such
Самый
things as
худший
the
регион.
history of the future. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen, ultimately, fate shall serve.
Крипты уберите уже, да что ж такое-то, а?
What's happening with the aura trees?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
Высоко прыгнул. Опять скрипты. Скрипт на скрипте, скриптом погоняет.
You.
Sorry. That shocked expression on your...
You are not Farina.
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous.
Fusalo.
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. The heavenly principles.
Deceiving the
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Font 1 was not amused. In fact, 1 was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. She knew full well that and as one of the 7, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly... So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible... I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. I had to outwit the heavenly principle. I'm a genius, I know. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do. Even now, after becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And she could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess. But in my eyes, Furina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive that... Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she... Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called...
But Furina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no... I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure.
It has indeed. And although she is innocent, it's been 500 years. And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely.
Все, наконец-то. Это мы оставим на завтра. Да вы что, издеваетесь, что ли? Это что за хрень полная? О, я еще не могу просто так напрямую пойти. Ни хрена себе. Самый лучший регион в игре. Еще на 2 часа год болтовни.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage?
Болтовни слишком размытой.
I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rule. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel I am Focalor? The eyes of countless Fontaine. Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon. Powerful one. Ha! Spring forth!
Let the show begin.
Here you are.
Сюда, что ты? Что там делаешь? Иди сюда.
No, my sword! Scatter!
Здесь ты еще ко мне.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Quicker. Deflect.
Недолго что продержался. Что-то дали нам поделать. Туда, сюда. Растянем, размажем, стопли. Я нажал подтвердить, почему не работает. Да-да, можешь помедленнее идти. Ты слишком быстро идешь.
Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're... mirror me? How...
Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad.
Mirror me? What do you wish to say?
The prophecy. Have you heard of it?
What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think... I don't know why, but the people will all be dissolved into the waters.
Oh, very good.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember.
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontaine.
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world. I will tell you how to save everyone, but...
Oh, so there's still hope after all. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came... But if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? If there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side...
You truly are the perfect human. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has to
play as a god.
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your...
But how will I do this? A human assuming...
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real... Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be. Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but
I'm still not sure I understand, but I'll try. So, how long am I going to have to play this role?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. But I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
A trial? Huh. How exciting. I'll be looking forward to it.
Я только первый акт был. Это невыносимо. Даже камеры не дают управлять. Да, ты ж не можешь переступить. Ты еще ползком пошла. Одно простейшее задание растянуто на пару часов. Простейший кусок задания.
What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role. In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new as the god Fosalor, the god of justice. Once again, thank you all for coming. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully...
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might...
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone... Right. Mere me said that I just calm down, Farina. Think. Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. Now, I was wondering if some weak pup... Well, it seems that you would all see right through. You may consider my previous act a door gift of sort. Now then...
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside...
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before. Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, we have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. There is no trouble in this world that so long as I, the Archon Fosalor, stand within the opera
Сколько актов у нас впереди? Давайте еще часика 2 вот такой тягомотик. Без возможности прервать. Давайте, чего уж стесняться-то. Ух ты, побежала, нифига себе. Че ты бегать научилась?
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports.
Come now. Besides, none of these...
if I may be so...
A magnificent, dramatic...
That's true, I fear I lack the...
No need for fright. And do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say.
No need to thank me. Or rather... All right. Deuteria is...
He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of...
Oh, good. Very good.
You're such a...
Для чего я должен был ходить? Вот это. Для чего это? Тут
Lady Farina,
порастягивать.
here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific...
I see. It's as I thought then. As all manner of signs indicate that the prophecy...
well, as I understand it...
Really?
I'm...
Oh, is that so?
Надеюсь, тут не 12 актов.
The day is finally over. But it's good to see that everything's getting... Maybe this is fine. Alright.
Меня тоже раздражает. Так, Растягивание хронометража раздражает.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the
There'll be no need.
Lady Farina, I've...
Indeed, my dear loyal citizen.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydro...
Understood. Keep monitoring. I feel utterly exhausted.
Сколько тут тактов. На говнисте другого. Это считается за акт. Меньше 200 тысяч.
Lady Farina, I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive
And what of...
What? Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god.
No wonder. No wonder.
So interminable. Hundreds of years must have passed. I never imagined. Have I reached I want to tell someone? And I've conducted so many investigations. All I can do is keep heart.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this, although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone.
Share. That's impossible. It was
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, just share it with
a witness. Yeah, and if to that is in... She's right. I could confide in her, but if things don't play out... No, Farina, you shouldn't... But what if... Farina, you've worked so... Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? If you let this opportunity slip, think about it. Long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth?
Yes, it had to be done. She did very well. If she had let her... It seems that trusting humanity...
I believe that I understand how your deception... How would you build on this foundation to...
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the... I'm sure you've long sensed that the oratory...
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Linny did mention that he heard a human... It now seems that that person was you.
And then I became one with the oratories, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would... Alas, your understanding of this device still... In truth, it is no enactor of justice. Oh, you have it. And to be more precise... I mean... Did you my work over these last 500 years? But really, Some have already discovered that only the vast majority has been, had to be.
It was all a part of your plan.
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's device.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne.
Returning what's rightfully yours to you. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the...
But...
Oh, what? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more.
All you've done throughout the years is...
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now... Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea. And the heavenly... I, for my part, am the god of... Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was... then... leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside. In other words, existence was defying the prophecy and ensuring that at this point, we, Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land.
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as at last, in the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living up, you are a deviant. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Neuvillette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Iudex Neuvillette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Это еще
What
не
just
все.
happened?
Скажи,
Has
ты
the
еще
death
можешь часик?
sentence been
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection?
But since we're all still alive and haven't been...
It's time to end this. We must meet our punishment. I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, we should seize the opportunity to pursue our traveler. Now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor at the root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. The beast that enacts the... Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution.
Да ё-моё, вы что, издеваетесь, что ли? Что за хрень? Два часа скриптов, вы еще долбанулись уже там в Китае, что ли?
But how are we going to do that? It's huge!
I've already done my best to separate the power from the way. Considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together.
Перелетающий
I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Rain outlines your fate.
Let's dance!
Flicker. The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Chance will present itself.
Зачем мы его ковыряли? Мы все равно сюда пришли.
What's that holding thingy over there? Looks very scary!
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its roots from within.
A process of elimination.
No, my sword! Scatter! Propagate! Spring forth!
Flicker.
Propagate! Go there!
Here you are. Defract.
Это было долго. Нет. Ковыряли потихонечку. Медлится. Сделай это побыстрее. Конечно, с первого раза не получится. Так. Приветики. Чел ты зачем туда погнал?
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. Should have been It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet... Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point. But they bumped into one another earlier than I thought.
That power.
Paimon has an idea. From what she said, it's just that he gave us the impression that she was the...
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. So you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to... All in all, it...
Miss Skirk?
The point be...
Well, being that this... So what sort of person is your master?
Oh, right. So you don't... His name is Sertologi.
I am
Huh. So master isn't sufficiently famous.
The foul?
Still nothing? Well, how about the visionary?
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rheinfelder's part of the Hexens.
Oh, so you do know that name. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is...
Wait! Didn't you also mention a vision?
Actually, never mind that. I believe that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its... Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the... As such, the Fontaine back on the... In other words, the prophecy that you've been...
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has...
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Надеюсь, к концу приближается все это дело. Чуть-чуть вам повезло, это обычная вода. Как их просто кидает. Контейнсы еле плавают. Окружены морями, не знаю. Ну, не то, что не знаю, но не готовы к таким действиям. Нахрена она тает?
All hands, initiate emergency rescue!
Что-то без маски. Маленького страна, если их спасать очень быстро.
The water's receding!
It's a miracle!
The water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
We're saved. The prophecy was wrong.
Не то, что не сбылось. Что-то на английском варианте «What's wrong» было неправдой. Там еще загружается.
Renewed. The sweet old soil can skyship winglet.
Я думал, в сумме радушное здание.
The various disputes that have
Хоть
arisen on
какой-то
account of
смысл
me. People always call them.
больше.
Wow, Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those?
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The
Навалить с
Steambird's
этой
idea, the
локации.
value for these big scoops. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a
Paimon's
Регион говна.
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come
are you sure?
Oh, this
Да,
time we'll be...
слушать не хочу. Это пустые болтовни. Наконец-то это закончим. Да. Да почему? Мне повезло. Сегодня с первого прокрута дают нам нормально. Но с ней я с тобой не играю. Да ладно. Так пойдет. Ну вот и все. Решил. На этом заканчиваем эту душную тягомотину.